is undoubtedly the most important and crucial subject in the NEET exam. It's a subject that determines your total score and your All India rank. Are you still struggling to score 140s, 150s and even 160s in physics? And are you struggling to pass 650 in your total score? In this video, I will tell you the most important tips and tricks that you students need to follow so that you can easily score 170 plus in physics and how to easily surpass 680 plus in your overall score. And at the end of this video, I will tell you the most important mistake that students are doing nowadays and how to avoid these mistakes easily. Before we move on with this video, we have to address that yes, physics is the nightmare of every NEET aspirant, right? Once we become doctors in the future, we're going to be studying human anatomy, human physiology, biochemistry, there's even chemistry. But what is the role of physics? Why do we need to study physics? That is the same question that I asked myself when I was studying 11th and 12th, right? And that is probably the same question that is running at the back of the mind of all of you students who are watching this video.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And I still have not found out the answer to that question.
No! No! No!
And you know what? Let's keep the questioning to one side and face the reality. That is, unfortunately or fortunately, we have to study physics for the sake of the NEET exam itself. So in this video, I'm just going to be highlighting the 5 important factors or key points that you need to remember to prepare physics so that you can score 170 plus or even 180. The first important tip is that you need to be strong with your basic mathematics. Physics and math, they go well hand in hand. They have a very strong correlation between them. If you're strong in your math, then you would also be strong in your physics. I'm not saying those hard, difficult type of math, but those, your basic calculations in math, like integration, differentiation, your trigonometric identities, trigonometric rules, and I'm even also mentioning about your basic skills like subtraction, addition, multiplication, division. I know you all know how to do multiplication and division, but all I'm saying is that just try to improve your skills in that by learning how to do 3 by 3 multiplications or even 4 by 4 into 4 multiplications in a more faster and efficient way, because you're going to be facing a lot of these type of questions when you come to the 11th and 12th standard physics, right? And why I'm saying this is that if you all know, in physics you're going to be facing 50 questions and approximately 40 questions out of the 50 questions are going to be calculation based. So that means that about 80% is full of calculations, and some of them are very long calculations, especially electrostatics and magnetic effects of electric current, right? When you're able to improve the speed of your calculations, it helps you to cut back some time, because NEET exam is a time restricted exam. You have 3 hours 20 minutes to answer all 4 subjects that you're writing. And I know this is not the case of every student, but majority of the students, they allocate at least 1 hour or even more for physics out of the 3 hour 20 minutes. So they are spending majority of their time on physics. And if you're able to save just, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes or even 5 minutes because of enhancing your basic mathematics skills, then it's gonna greatly improve your efficiency while attending the NEET exam. And that is my suggestion. The second important point is concept clarity and your formula clarity. When you take a book to practice, there are more than 2,000 questions in every single topic, 2,000 different numerical statements and everything, but all of them depends on the same concept itself. So your concept clarity is more important than the number of questions that you solve. For formula clarity, you can create a dedicated formula sheet for each chapter. Write down not just the formula, but also its derivations and the condition of the application. Alternatively, you can just buy an Allen handbook. It contains most of the necessary formulas that you need to know. It might not include some of them, so you can and there's some space given at the end of each chapter for you to write down any more important formulas for you to memorize for the NEET exam. To improve concept clarity, you can break down the complex topic into smaller and manageable parts. Create mind maps or flowcharts to visualize the relationship between the different concepts. The most quoted technique is to teach the concepts and the formulas to your peers. Only when explaining to others Can it significantly enhance your own understanding of the concept itself? Practice applying formulas in various problem-solving scenarios. This will help you understand when and how to use a formula efficiently when necessary. Use spaced repetition technique, which I'll make an entire video about it later, because it is a very important skill that you need to learn how to use to study efficiently. Number 3, NCERT. Many students are reading NCERT wrongly, not only for physics, but for all other subjects itself. The first mistake that the students are making is that they're studying the NCERT book very late, almost just 3 or 4 months before their final board exams and the final NEET exam. That is when they start studying the NCERT textbooks, and that is completely wrong. And one more thing I wanted to say is that we definitely know that the theory given in the NCERT book to explain a particular topic is not that easy for us to understand. So what I would suggest is that instead you can start off studying the theory in any books like DC Pandey or even H.C. Verma. I know H.C. Verma might be a bit too complicated in the difficulty of the JEE exam, but if you're definitely up for it, then you can go for it also. So you can study in these 2 books, and then you can use studying NCERT just as a filler. What is so special about NCERT is that your NCERT is like an ocean, and you have to catch the fish at the right spot. The interest level in a particular topic for every student peaks at the starting, then slowly declines as they move page after page after page. And towards the last 5 to 10 pages, they just tend to rush it off. They just want to finish the topic and move on to the next one. But keep this in your mind. The Easter eggs are present at the summaries and points to ponder itself.
லட்டுல வச்சு நினைச்சியா தாஸ் நட்டுல வச்சேன்.
Okay, so now the 4th important point is practice, 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 and previous year questions. Practice only makes you perfect, right? Your learning cycle is going to be, you're going to be learning a chapter, you're going to practice, you're going to make mistakes, and repeat. Study, practice, make mistakes, repeat. The more mistakes you make and the more practice you do, it's definitely going to help you become more perfect. It's going to definitely help you perfect the chapter itself. And just one more tip that I would like to offer you students, as I learned from my mistake itself, is that initially when you're starting the journey, just buy one book and focus on completing that single book completely. You know, there are many publications out there: Arihant, Errorless, DC Pandey, H.C. Verma, Pearson, Allen, Akash. There's so many out there. And you know what I did as an enthusiastic 11th standard student who's going to study NEET? I bought every single book out there, and I learned a very valuable lesson from doing that. And you know what it is?
Bruh.
This is what I learned from it. You will go broke, right? Just don't do that. Just buy one book and focus on that one book. So once you have completed the first book that you've bought, next what you can do is that you can go to your friend and ask for another publication that he uses, or you can even buy, if you have the money and you can afford, you can go on, you can buy another publication. And don't be dumb, don't attempt every single question out there. Just make a glance and see what questions are new and what questions are repeated, because almost 50 to 60% of the questions you see are repeated questions, and only 40% of the questions that you see in another publication is going to be different. So the next thing I wanted to tell you guys about is that whenever you're practicing question, look out for the patterns that you see, right? In certain chapters like electromagnetic waves chapters, you might see that the question pattern is similar, right? They might ask you, what is the wavelength of X-rays? What is the frequency of ultraviolet rays, right? You might know the question pattern in that chapter itself. And for example, you know, everyone knows in units and measurement, what is the most repeated question? It's always going to be a question on vernier caliper and micrometer screw gauge. They are going to be asking you about, is it a positive error, is it a negative error, what is going to be the true reading, and all that. So before we start this video, we have to address the most important thing. So before we move on with the video, before we move on with this, shall we? The most quoted technique is to teach the concepts to your peers. Oh, okay. This is what I learned from it. And don't be stupid enough. Don't just